You've obviously been, like, not necessarily on a team like the Rockets, but been on a team that is on the up and up. What is it like to be on that side of the spectrum in terms of a team on the rise?
I mean, you have a lot of faith and confidence in your style, your identity. I'm assuming the group likes playing with each other, and you're in situations where you're competing at a pretty high level. They're a 2 seed for a reason. Had an amazing year, and it seems like they know who they are. So just a matter of trying to ride that wave.
Did you feel the benefits of a few days off this week? Did you feel that out of practice and just mentally the last couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helped. I mean, if you lose Tuesday, you're playing last night on a plane today on the way to wherever, OKC. So it's definitely a better situation, but you have to take advantage of it in the sense of, preparing your, like, rest is one thing, but not all rest is created equal in the sense of you have to be intentional about how you use the days, and that doesn't mean you're not doing anything. You're priming yourself, weight room, mentally, skill-wise, getting your work in. So, it just helps not to have to prepare for a game. You realize we've been going for whatever it is, 6-7 months, and the last 2 of it were really intense. So it was nice to just take a good pause.
All the times that you guys faced the Rockets during the regular season, what can you learn from those games and how they defended you?
You just got to be smart, understand they're going to come with pressure and their athleticism and switching. And just, we know it comes down to possession games. The games that we won against them, we kept our turnovers low. And the games we lost, it was the opposite. So you just got to play smart, play aggressive, understand it's a long game, 48 minutes, a lot can happen. There's going to be runs. There was crazy runs pretty much every game, probably besides the last one. And, just stick with it. And it's the playoffs. It's a totally different vibe.
With the battles you guys have had over the years, obviously it turned into a rivalry. It seemed like even with this new group, they seem to have embraced that from the coach down to the players. Just what have you kind of thought about that? And then what does it say about this young group that they clearly don't really back down from anybody considering how young they are as a team?
Winning breeds confidence, and it wasn't just us. It seemed like they had some energy for a lot of teams, and all that is, again, protecting yours, and you expect a team that is on the up and up to have that type of confidence. And at the end of the day, you have to force a team to, answer to physicality and aggressiveness and IQ on the other end. So that's our job, and it's going to be a good challenge. Like I said, they're a 2 seed for a reason. They had an amazing year. Any team that wins 50-plus games is a good team.
Obviously, they got a lot of vets on their team, but a lot of those guys are younger, haven't played in the playoffs. How much of a factor do you think you guys having that playoff experience is going to be over the course of this series?
We'll see.
Back playing in this building, once again, obviously you've had a lot of great memories. What kind of comes to mind and playing at Toyota Center, and just how loud is the energy from what you can remember in playoff time?
I think our challenge is not to, only me, Draymond, Loon. Yeah, I think that's us. The GP wasn't here then. Might be missing somebody. No, I just think it's just us 3 who were here for that series. So it might be easy for us to say, yeah, we understand that environment, even just being in the city, like how you spend time during a 2-game stretch. You're here for 5 days, but for the rest of everybody, you kind of have to ignore all of that because it's a different time, a different season, if you will, not just literally but figuratively in terms of which teams are out there. So on one hand, you appreciate the history. On the other hand, it doesn't matter.
What do you remember about Amen when he attended your camp?
He was same type of player. He's just obviously way better now. And the idea that he's made, Houston has been a big part of who they are. You can kind of see it at Cam. He's an ultimate competitor, you know, obviously a supreme athlete, but figuring out how to impact the game, you know, consistently, whether he's shooting it or not, that's been fun to watch. So it's kind of cool having, you know, again, alumni. Jalen Green was part of camp too. So it is wild now going into a playoff battle against those two guys who I was on the sidelines coaching for a weekend in the Bay.
Does it make you feel old at all?
It used to, until I got asked that question a lot. No, it's just, you know, I take it as a badge of honor.
Selflessness among this team. It's not going to be your night every night, kind of that sometimes you, sometimes me, always us mentality. How can that help you guys in the playoffs?
No, it's definitely going to help because, again, playoffs is it's a very different game. And I know you probably hear that a lot from a bunch of players, but it's very, very detailed stuff on like, okay, this guy has an open shot, but it's like, is that what the defense wants you to give because the numbers will work in their favor type thing. Like it's very, very detailed. So distributing, but it's not even like so much like sharing necessarily. It's more the selflessness in terms of like screening your guy. You know what I mean? Like going and executing the play properly, where it's like it might be the start of the play, and then the outcome of the play is very much determined by what you do. You know what I mean? At the start, that's where the selflessness needs to like be crisp. You know what I mean? So we get a really good shot for the person we want to shoot the ball.
What's the expectation tomorrow for the first time in 5 years?
I don't know, but if it's anything like our play-in game against Golden State, it's gonna be freaking. It's gonna be lit, bro. It's gonna be turned up because that was ridiculous. The atmosphere was amazing. The crowd was getting into it. It was awesome. I know, bro. We keep asking questions. Yeah, but it should be good.
As a veteran, do you have any advice for the guys who will be making their playoff debut tomorrow?
No, none at all. Yeah.
Have they noticed anything to you?
No. Well, it's one of these things where it's like you can't. Some lessons you need to learn them by going through them, and what you extract from them is dependent on your whole upbringing or your own personality. You know. So like, I don't see any benefit. Apart from just like calming them down, if I see them freaking tweaking out or something, then like, yeah, bro, simmer down. But like, if it's just like, you know, for them just to be in it and learn, that's all you can, because they need to extract what they can from it. I can't come in and say like, hey, you should look at X, Y, Z, because that actually might mess them up. You know what I mean? So you just let them go through it. If they fall down, the bros are here to pick you up. Move on.
I ask you all a lot of times about the growth that you've seen from the young players over the last 2 years. What is the growth that you've seen in your head coach, Ime Udoka, over the last 2 years?
Well, you can see the trust forming. You know, it takes a lot for a coach to give his trust up to guys, especially young guys, guys who hadn't had much experience, you know, playing at a high level. So you can see him developing some trust and our coaching staff developing a package and trying new things. You see all the different things we tried this year. Zone, double big, different lineups, some different things offensively. So I think coaches grow every year as well, and we've seen Coach take a big jump this year and should definitely be the coach of the year. I don't know how many people are talking about that, but to take this group from where we were 2 years ago to where we are today, 1,000%, you know, should be the coach of the year.
You know, we embrace it. We like that. Overall, we don't care what underdog or the bets or spread or whatever the case may be is what they think. We're the more physical team. You know, we battle together, and I think we're the more, you know, cohesive team.
Jalen has had a very productive year this year. What type of opportunity is this for him to be able to show the rest of the world him taking that next step up in the playoffs?
This is where, you know, you make a name for yourself. I've seen Ja do it, I've seen Anthony Edwards do it, Jaren, these guys in the past that I played with or saw or played against. This is where you make your name. This is where you show that even, you know, when you're playing a 7-game series, when teams are keen on you, you can still find a way to score, be effective. Same with LP. This is where you make your name.
What have you learned from your first 3 years in the NBA that has prepared you for this moment?
What I learned? I learned actually winning, you know, because we couldn't do that first 2 years. But now, even like we start the game bad, I can tell we're gonna win this game, you know. So even this year, there was a lot of games we started bad. They were up 20, 15 every time, you know, but we just came back. We played through, and we just learned how to win, how to finish the game too.
Thank you.
Jalen, you talked about being focused. Seems like you're going into your LeBron James mode of old dark 30 by deleting your social media. Is that just so you could concentrate more on what the task at hand?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to go on my social media and watch highlights and stuff. And that's not something I'm trying to be focused on during the playoffs. This is my first time being in this situation, and I want to be fully present and fully locked in for it. So I want to take advantage of the moment and be myself and be free-minded.
Yeah, you also mentioned earlier when you're talking about defense. Our man Thompson is going to be up for some of these defensive awards this year. How much has he impacted you all this season on the defensive end of the court?
I mean, DB and him, they're them two dogs right there. But a man coming in and just bringing his dog mentality. He's young, flying around and stuff, and at the same time, being a help on the offensive glass and don't get helping swing trades and stuff like that. Overall, he has an just good game. I think he's helped boost everybody's confidence and just knowing that we're gonna be able to lock somebody down and be able to score on the side. So, overall, he's a great player and that defensive player of the year. I think he should be a lot for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.